Hey guys, hello and welcome to the Tom Pagano Show. I hope I hope you all had a great week. It was exciting. We have, like I talked about last week, I got a lot of changes happening. I'll get to that a little bit later. But it's going to be, have a lot of good music on the show today. So I want to start off with a great thing that happens up in this little town of Dahlonega, Georgia. For the people that live here, I'm sure you know Dahlonega and you know all about this town. But the people that don't live here, Dahlonega is a small little community up in the mountains of North Georgia, and it's very artsy. There's great food, a lot of good things going on there, shops, and people just love to go there to hang out. And but one thing that's really cool, that like one of the first times I came there about 10 years ago, on a Saturday, they just have there's a little town square right in the middle of the town, and people just get together there and jam, and it's amazing. They could be 50 people one week, or they could be 10 the next week, but they just get up there and have a good time. So the first time I went, it blew me away. I mean, there were I think the average age of the musician in there was probably 60 years old, but it was awesome. And I went again a couple months ago, and it was just as good. And it's funny, the mandolin player played there the first time I was there. So I'm gonna play. We're gonna start the show off with a little jam from Dahlonega, New York. Just let me cue this up for you guys, and here we go. This is, I think it was 2025. It was a few months ago. It was right before the holidays. So enjoy this little moment of music and jam.
That's tough. That's really tough. I mean, that's. I would say yes. It's just different. It's changed a lot. That's all.
from the Delta to the North Georgia hills, and the totes I quote ginseng won't pay my traveling bills. It's a long way from the Delta to the North Georgia hills, and a totes I quote a ginseng will pay my traveling bills. I'm too old to ride the rail, and I'm on the road alone, and I guess I'll never make it back to home. My mighty one Mississippi Delta, my mighty one Mississippi Delta.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, I love him.
That was fun.
And what's it called?
That was fun.
Ginseng.
Well, you caused me lots of trouble. Hey, wait. All your burdens on my I'm going with
I'm going back. I'm going back.
I'm going away, all right, baby. I'm going away. Yeah, you should have let that go on.
Well, that was awesome. Let me turn that down and down, down, all these buttons again. Yeah, so if you're, in the area and you want some good time music, head on up to Dahlonega. And on a Saturday, you're bound to find a jam. And if you're a musician, bring your guitar, bring your banjo, bring whatever it takes to have a good time. And thank you, George, again for watching. I appreciate it. Ken and Lisa, love that bluegrass. Jamie, she loves. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. She obviously has been down to Dahlonega. She says it's an awesome town. She should know she's a traveler. She's a great engineer that who's part of my touring family. So rock on. I'm heading out again there, Jamie. Ken also loves Dahlonega, and it's also a great place to go. So, like I said, if you're ever in the North Mountains of Georgia, head over to Dahlonega on a Saturday afternoon. Enjoy some good music, some good food. It sounds like I'm doing a promo for the town, but yeah, send me the check later, Dahlonega. Anyway, I'm going to move on with the show. I'm holding my notes here because sometimes I just can't remember everything, the flow of the show. And Our featured guest today is another awesome musician. If you like some good time rock and roll or some good time bluegrass or just good music, Jeff Dayton is the guy. I'm going to play a video I did with him a couple years back, but if you want to see more current stuff, Jeff has a page up here on YouTube. Just type in Jeff Dayton, Dayton. It'll take you to his page, and he puts all new music up. He's always touring around. He's playing. He's awesome. I love him. He's besides being a great musician, he's just a great guy. So, like I said, it was a couple years ago. I was down in Nashville doing some work, and I saw that there was a small bar there, and I said, let's go in there. I said, me and Alice, let's go in there, see what's going on. We went with a camera and record him, and he performed for us and did a little interview before he went up on stage. And so that's the tape I'm going to play, and I hope you enjoy it. I don't hope you enjoy it. I know you enjoy it because it is excellent. Jeff is excellent, and I'm going to shut up now and make you enjoy the music. So here we go, Mr. Jeff Dayton.
All right, let's get today's show rolling. Today's show is going to feature the music and talents of Mr. Jeff Dayton. I met Jeff down in Nashville about 3 or 4 years ago when I was filming Is There Soul in Rock and Roll. He was playing.
Sorry, I'm having little technical difficulties here. Sorry to me.
All right, let's get today's
Jeff,
show
here we
rolling.
go.
Today's
Mr.
show
Jeff
is gonna
Dayton.
feature the music and talents of Mr. Jeff Dayton. I met Jeff down in Nashville about 3 or 4 years ago when I was filming Is There Soul in Rock and Roll. He was playing at a club not too far from where I was staying, so I figured, hey, let's go check him out. And it was well worth it. Jeff is a tremendous talent, singer, songwriter, producer, among many other things. And I got to sit down with him for a few minutes before he went up, and he gave a great interview. I got to film a little bit, his set. But Jeff is going to talk a little bit about himself. Jeff, quick overview. He was the music director for Glenn Campbell for 15 years. He's written many songs and produced many songs in Nashville and throughout the country. So let's sit back and enjoy the talents and the fun of Mr. Jeff Dayton.
My first guitar cost $25. Had a neck like a ski jump, strings all covered in rust. But I banged that thing each and every day till Uncle Boo stopped by for dinner and he heard me play. And he said, that ain't worth the daggone. Thought you better get your twang on, hillbilly picker, twang on. Dig a little deeper, turn it up, lay it on down. There ain't nobody like you around, so find your song, make it proud and strong, twang on. Well, I moved to the city and I paid my dues, singing Ring of Fire and a working man blues. Then a man in a limo said, you're pretty good. Oh, but there's already 22 many hot pickers in Nashwood. So if you really want to be someone, you better dang sure get your twang on. Rock and roll picker, twang on. Dig a little deeper, turn it up, lay it on down. Show everybody why you came to town. Find that song, yeah, play it proud and strong. Twang on, twang on. Ba, 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 ba. Well, now country boy with a flat top box, picking white lightning on Rocky Top. Yeah, Dixie chick with a bling guitar, writing those songs, pouring out your heart. Yeah, where I've been, what I learned is to be yourself till it's your turn. Step right up to the microphone, give 'em a smile and get your own. hippy dippy picker. Twang on, dig a little deeper. Turn it up, lay it on down. There ain't nobody like you around. So twang on, hillbilly picker. Twang on, dig a little deeper. Turn it up, lay it on down. There ain't nobody like you around. So find that song. Yeah, sing it proud and strong. Twang on, twang on, twang on, oh yeah. Come on, fingers. Thank you. Hey, I'm Jeff Dayton, live here in Nashville, Tennessee. Pleasure to be part of this documentary, and thanks for the honor of including me. Played guitar for a lot of great people. Started out, obviously, as the song says, with a cheap guitar, and had the want to all my life. I really didn't get the get to until I was 9 years old. My mom bought me a guitar, and I was off and running, pretty crazy. Loved the lifestyle. I love the variety of things I get to do as a musician. I mean, it's never the same week, 2 weeks in a row. And even when you're playing in the clubs, different people come in. You get a chance to meet folks that bring a different energy to the room every night. And these days, I'm hardly ever anywhere twice in a row, traveling all over. My first really big break came with a song that George Strait recorded, and it was on the album that went platinum, and it was also the CMA and ACM album of the year, called Does Fort Worth Ever Cross Your Mind? The song I wrote was called Any Old Time, and it put me on the map as a writer in Nashville and opened a lot of doors for me. And then in 1987, along came Glenn Campbell and asked me to be his band leader and guitar player, and we had 15 years together, an amazing time. I'll never forget those days, and I learned so much standing next to the great Glenn. I think in the Hall of Fame, there should be a Hall of Fame of those people, and he'd be in that group. He's on top of the top. After Glenn's time together, I was here in Nashville by then. I was living in Phoenix when I met him, actually. Started up with Kenny Chesney, played with him for a tour, worked with Lee Greenwood for several years. Been writing, singing, playing, producing records, playing on people's records and demos, and traveling all over from Hawaii to the East Coast. A lot of time down on the Gulf Coast. Anywhere there's water, I like to go. And Nashville obviously is a great town for all of that. I get to do some acting on some TV shows like Nashville and Hawaii Five-0, and a little bit of movie work and some music videos, and it's a great life. And I'm glad to be here. So I was one of those teenagers with their ear glued to the radio, but I was a big fan of the Beach Boys and the Beatles and the Stones and Eric Clapton and Led Zeppelin, but earliest of all was bluegrass for me, and a group called Flat and Scruggs. Now, I haven't heard of that over in Ireland, I bet, but I know they like bluegrass over there. Throw a little music on here. This is one of mine called Bluegrass on the Beach. Tells a little bit of the story. I left West Virginia, cut through Tuckasee, rambled to Alabama with a banjo on my knee. But once I hit the Gulf Shore, my searching was complete. Traded in my walking shoes for sugar on my feet. Yeah, something about the water and the weather seemed to go with fiddle and a five-string and a little Bill Monroe. I've been from the mountaintop down to those city streets, but there ain't nothing anywhere like bluegrass on the beach. I'll cut to the end for you. Met up with some pickers, and we got us a band playing for the tourists who are working on their tans. Nothing gets them going or puts money in our jug like the Orange Blossom Special and a little Flat and Scruggs. Yeah, something about the water and the weather seemed to go with fiddle and a flat top and her footprints in the snow. I've been from the mountaintop down to the city streets, but there ain't nothing anywhere like bluegrass on the beach. No, there ain't nothing in this world like bluegrass on the beach. Marcus Mumford ever needs a sub, let me know. Well, I was pretty much raised on stage because every time my mom would have dinner parties, she'd have me go get my guitar. And after dinner, they'd all be in the living room and sitting around, and then she'd trot me out like the circus monkey, and I had to go get my guitar and play along. So that's how I learned a lot of songs, was just playing with people singing. Well, anytime you're in the studio, you're creating something that didn't exist before you got there. And so it's a magical time. I love being on the studio floor with the guys in the bands, especially here in Nashville. I mean, no disrespect to London, New York, or LA, but we've got some of the world's best musicians here. And they come here because they know that. In fact, the Waterboys were across the hall from me the last time I was doing a record over at Studio, great band from over your way. Everybody comes here, everybody's got the history, they love Nashville for that. And the players here are, bar none, the best in the world. And so the thrill of being out there with guys who have cut way more records than I've ever, written songs, is pretty amazing. And it lifts your game a lot. It brings up your ability to play. Those guys are so good that you got to shine or go home.
Well, that kind of leads into a little bit what the documentary is about. Is it still soul and rock and roll? It has modern technology, with Pro Tools, Garage Band, and what you've fed on the radio with Lady Gaga and so on. Has that taken the soul out of music a little bit, or has it kind of taken it and put it in the back just for music
Well,
sake?
I don't know. Maybe for the people that ate the blue pill, or whichever pill it was that puts you back in the matrix. For me, I'm still a pencil and paper songwriter. I don't write on a laptop. I translate it to a laptop eventually just to have lyric files, but I write with a pencil and paper, and I write with an acoustic guitar. And I'm old school, and I love recording with the whole band at once rather than layering tracks, like starting with just a drummer and then sending it to the bass player and then sending it to the keyboard player, and then everybody can do E-files, and we can create records that way. But the drummer sometimes feels like he's trying to put carpeting underneath furniture that's already in the room. I mean, there's too much stuff already done, and you don't have a chance to interact with everybody. So it's that old school, get them all in the room and see what happens magic that, for me, puts the special touch on everything. If you did it with just what you could imagine beforehand, you miss out on the interaction. It's that little idea virus that goes around, and somebody does something cool, and you go, I like that. Let's do that. Let's add that. Or, man, that little thing you're playing, put that on the front of the song. Or let's stretch this section here, and you kind of, especially me, I create more and more things going around that way. Everybody does things their way, but there's plenty of organic music happening, especially here in Nashville. In fact, some of our country producers, like Jay Joyce from the Wallflowers, is here doing amazing records. I love his stuff, and it feels as organic as anything I've ever enjoyed. There's a whole bunch of layers of different styles going on, and there's techno here, but then there's really rootsy. I mean, I think Nashville might be the home of just a guitar player and drummer type of band, White Stripes, Black Keys, there's a lot of really simplified, stripped down stuff. And I don't think we're in any danger of losing that, because people are hungry for that organic thing. I think there's a backlash going on with all the kind of the style of country that's out right now. And I think people are saying, hey, give me something real again. Give me a song that's about real people and touch my heart instead of just making me want to drink and meet that girl, I enjoy that. I mean, it's really fresh. I love the lyrics in hip-hop and rap music because it breaks ground. It's the kind of rhymes that we don't use in country very often. And honestly, I listen to electronica. I listen to movie soundtracks especially. I'm really a fan of cinematic music. I was ever since I was a cellist and playing in the college orchestra, listening to the string section and just being moved by the sound of all those strings. So that's another one of my favorite sounds, is creating something for TV and film. Sometimes you ask yourself, is there still soul in rock and roll? And I think rock and roll was born in soul music. Rock and roll was born from the blues and from the American South and from the big cities and from the heart of people. And I think that rock and roll is definitely alive and well in that respect, as long as it's true to itself. If it's commercial, if it's just some corporate thing, we can smell that. I think we really can. I mean, it's obvious to everybody when somebody's faking it. And it's just like with friendships. When you're attracted to somebody as a friend, you find that sincerity in them, and that's what brings you closer, as opposed to people who have that salesy kind of approach, and you think, oh man, I'm getting into something I'm going to regret later, you know. So if music is honest, and you know, honestly, I've always loved bands like the Byrds and the Gin Blossoms and the Script, and you know, guitar bands like that harken back to my early days, you know. And I love fresh, great songwriting, you know. Going back to the corner where I first saw you. I mean, what a cool song. I love that stuff. So I'm a fan. Yeah. I'll try to turn it up for you. My old man, he's a real piece of work. A hard head and a blue collar shirt. Tell you jokes, makes you laugh till it hurts just to see you smile. And every morning's the same toast and eggs. Drives a four-door paid for Chevrolet. I don't think he's ever seen a bad day except when Grandma died. And anytime anyone ever asks him how he's doing, well, it's the same grin, the same line every time. Never been better, never been a day that beat the way I feel right now. No way, no how. Never been nothing to compare with the rush of just being here and living a life so good it ought to last forever. I might have been stronger and faster and younger, but I've never been better. I used to hear my old man saying grace, asking Lord, please bless this dinner plate. Thank you for our health and another day, and if you don't mind, please bless that woman sitting there in her grandma's cane-back wooden chair. Greenest eyes that I've seen anywhere. She's the love of my life. There ain't a man anywhere ever been as blessed as me. A lot of girls in this world, but far as I've seen, never been better. Never been a woman loved me just the way I was, but that's what she does. Never been nothing to compare. The rush of her being here and living a love so good it all lasts forever. I might have been stronger, faster, and younger, but I've never been better. No. Yeah, that's the kind of man he is. That's the kind of man I wanna be. That's the kind of way I wanna feel when they ask me. And if you ask me, I've never been better. Never had a day that beat the way I feel right now. No way, no how. Yeah, never been nothing to compare with the rush of just being here and living a life so good it ought to last forever. I might have been stronger and faster and younger. Yeah, I might have been stronger and faster and younger, but I've never been better. I've never been better. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Well, that was Mr. Jeff Dayton, and tell you, he's an incredible person. That interview was done in the lobby of the club. He did that interview, which lasted about a half hour or so, played, and then he went and played 3 hours in the club. And that's just the kind of guy he is. He's open, he's real, he's down to earth. And as you can tell, he's a great musician. So, like I said, he has a page on YouTube. Just type in Jeff Dayton, Dayton. Go to his page, subscribe it, and follow him. He's always putting up new music. In fact, he just released an album, and he's putting songs up on there. So go out and check Jeff out and check his page. And while we're checking things out, check this out. The Tom, that's right. We're getting merch. Merch is happening, people. There's no rock and roll ain't rock and roll unless you have your own merch. So I'll be getting a whole bunch of shirts made up, and they'll be available to the public, for a small charge, of course, because that's how we make most of our money is through merchandise, people. So be prepared to get your, get my beard out of the way, Tom Pagano shirt. The Tom Pagano Show shirt. The Tom Pagano Show shirt. Anyway, on to the next part of the show. Well, I'm going to change the vibe just a little bit. It's not political at all. A couple years ago, I challenged myself to write a 2-minute song a week. And I did. I kept it going for a couple weeks, and I got some good stuff out of it. And one of the songs that I wrote, I think kind of could help in these times. The song is about, I thought, if you look at it, back through history, a lot of the wars that were started was by religion. And religion, everybody has their thing. And, I have no problem with religion. It helps people. But when people start putting their religion against another religion and fighting over it, that's where the problem comes in. So I was thinking, what if we just changed God to love, and instead of just, saying there is this entity up there, which there may be or there may not be, but I know there's not 1,000 of them. There's one preaching and wanting us to do good, and he definitely doesn't want us killing each other over him. But that seems to be happening. So I just thought, what if we changed God to love? And that's what the song is called, and that's what it's about. And I'm going to play it for you now. I just got to go and find it. There's Jeff Dayton, Tom Pagano Show. Yeah, see all this technical stuff. Like Woody says, it's live. So here we go. A song I wrote on God. Change God to love. Okay, guys. Well, here's song number 2 that I wrote. It's for religion. Because sometimes things aren't what they appear to be. Is there God or is there love? Why do we trust the man above? Does God live in our heart or our minds? Because if he's looking down, he sure is blind. So why not change God to love? Take the pressure off the man above. Get rid of all the gods in his midst, and let our hearts be the biggest gifts. So many gods, religions we trust, but love in our heart is such a bust. If love is the answer, something to believe in, then there's no reason to believe in original sin. So why not change God to love? Take the pressure off the man above. Get rid of all the gods in its midst, and let our hearts be the biggest gifts. So why not change God to love? Take the pressure off the man above. Get rid of all the gods and myths, and let our hearts be the biggest gifts. So stop putting pressure on the guy in the sky. Take responsibility for action, give it a try. So stop hiding behind prayer without action and act from your heart with the fullest of passion. So why not change God to love? Take the pressure off the man above. Get rid of all the gods and myths and let our hearts be the biggest gifts. We live in a country full of fakes. What the hell is it gonna take? What would happen if we changed God to love? We wouldn't have to depend on the man above. What would happen if we changed God to love? Okay. Oh. Here we go. That's so down. All right, guys. Sorry for all the technical difficulties here. I need about five hands today. But anyway, that was a little song I wrote and something to think about. It's causing the crazy times we live in. Sometimes we just, instead of, talking, let our hearts and actions speak it. Anyway, I'm going to lighten up a little bit here on the show tonight. So like I said once before, Alice and I have done a few shows, rock shows, fundraisers, and I'm going to get a little rock and roll, a little raw with this next band. We did a show here. It was called Rockin' the Bluffs at Cherokee Bluffs here, and it was a fundraiser, to raise money for the arts in the schools. And one of the band was Sam Nelson, and Ethan Pageant is Sam. He lives here in Atlanta, and he's performing now solo, and this was his band he had back then. I don't know if they're still performing, but they were really, really raw energy, and a lot of his songs were based on what he went through and what he was going through, and I enjoy it, and I think you guys will. It follows the theme of rawness of rock and roll. Sometimes I think that's the best when it's not overly produced, when it's just a 3-piece band and they just go out in your face. So I'm gonna find where Sam Nelson is, and we're gonna have what one is that? Atlantic Jam. Here we are. Yes, that's Sam Nelson. So I'm going to try to do this without any technical difficulties. There's a button here I got to press. I got to hit auxiliary up here. Whoop, wrong. See that? See it? Already made a mistake there. Here we go. Auxiliary up. And here we go with Sam Nelson.
This next song's about peer pressure. Hit it! just might ensue to do something new. And if I do your drugs with you, can I be a part of the crew? I just might ensue to do something new. And if I get real high with you, can I be a part of the crew? Please, just might ensue to do something new. I hope that I don't get sick. I hope that I don't get sick. Then you just might have to pretend. I hope that I don't get sick. I hope that I don't get sick. Then you just might have to pretend.
And ooh, look at that, I got the buttons right that time. And as you can see by the ending of that is also on my other channel called the Entertainment Window. So I hope you guys will, if you have Roku or Amazon, Fire, you could go to my channel there called the Entertainment Window, and you'll see some of the stuff that you saw here, plus some other stuff. I have about 7 hours worth of programming up there now, and it's just going to get more. So, support, the local arts. It's a channel for local entertainment. It's called the Entertainment Window on Roku and Amazon Fire. It's a free app to download, so go over there and do that. And again, here, subscribe on Alto Picture Presents. Get the numbers up. Tell your friends. That I just want to get this entertainment out to as many people as I can, because I love doing it, and I really appreciate all you people. Kenneth, who wrote something great. He says, "We want some merch. I think you should have your iconic likeness on it." Thanks, Ken. Actually, me and Alice were thinking about how to put my face on there and on my car for when I travel around. But yeah, merch will be coming soon, and a lot of things will be coming soon. But one thing I have to tell you, I'm going out on tour. I leave this Sunday, so the show is going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be on a hiatus, because I don't know how or I'm going to work out something, and it might not be every Tuesday night, but maybe on a day off that I'm in a hotel, I could do a couple things, updates, tell you how the tour is going. I'm going out with the Strokes, doing a run from the end of May to the end of July. I'm looking forward to it. It's my first time going out in a while, so always before I went out on tour, I always got like these, not anxiety, but let's get going, and I got that. and a little anxiety because, like I said, it's been 2 years since I've been on the road, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. I head out for prep on Sunday. We have a couple days of prep. I'm looking at the schedule here. About a week of rehearsal, and our first show is June 12th at the Bonnaroo Music Festival in Manchester, Tennessee. So if any of you are going to Bonnaroo, I'll see you there. Just look for me. I'll be running the rail cam, and the schedule is really, really, really nice. We're doing a couple of doing 2 festivals, doing the Bonnaroo, and it looks like we're doing at the Minnesota Yacht Club, where I was there last year with Green Day. That's an awesome festival. So doing that festival, we're doing a couple of arenas, a couple of sheds, and we end the tour on July 23rd at the best place to see a concert outdoors at Red Rocks in Colorado. So, like I said, the weekly show, I'll be back, on a weekly basis. After that, I'm going to figure out how I could do a show, a little something, like on my days off, because I don't know, if we have travel days, obviously I won't be able to do it on a travel day, but, maybe a hotel day, I'll be able to do, 20-minute show just to tell you what's going on and what's going down and how I'm doing. But I appreciate you guys, and I have a whole bunch of you guys watching tonight, and I thank you for your support. And of course I'll be gone for, let's look at it as Jimmy Kimmel and all those guys, they take a short hiatus and they come back strong as ever. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a short hiatus, but there'll be little things in me there. But when I come back, we'll have some more rock and roll, some more good times, and let's have fun. And again, I thank you all you for your support. I look forward to doing this every week. It's always on my mind what I'm going to do, what I'm going to talk about, and I appreciate you guys. So I usually have a video that I play out the show, and tonight is no different. I have a song by a friend of mine and John Melnick's, Peter Santrapadre. Peter writes some really, really good stuff. I know Peter for a long time, from the Right Track In, and we haven't seen each other or heard of each other in years, and we just hooked up again a couple of years ago. And he's been sending me, some music, and he does some really good stuff. And everything he writes, it's a song with a conscience. He's a man with a conscience, and he puts it into his music. And he does all the tracks. He does the drums, he does the guitar, the vocals, and he's great. And the song that I'm going to play for you now on the way out is called "The Choice." And again, it's it's very social, on his social conscience. It's about a woman's right to choose, and he feels very strongly about it, and he wrote a great song to put it out there. So I'm going to play that song for the out of the show. And again, guys, thank you again. I'm going to miss seeing you every week, but like I said, I'm going to try what I can to get a couple shows up while I'm on tour. And think about me. I'm thinking about you, and we'll always have fun. Guys, rock and roll, rock on. I appreciate you. And let's get some Peter Santrapadre, "The Choice." And hopefully we'll get this going with no more technical difficulties. So again, thank you, friends. I love yous. I just can't say goodbye. It's so hard to say goodbye, but it's not goodbye. It's a short break. I'll see you soon, guys. Rock on. No more. Rock on. Hey guys, Tom Pagano here. I'm just sitting out in my backyard on this beautiful August day in Georgia, and I want to share something with you that I got today. I got this song from my friend Peter Santrapadre. I've played songs from him before. He's an artist with soul, artist with a message, and an artist that feels what's going on in the world today. He's also a really damn good musician. So I want you all to listen to this song. It's called The Choice. I think the name is kind of self-explanatory. So sit back and enjoy this song by Peter called The Choice.
The past, the present, the future. I'm living it all at once. So many venues, all these decisions. I better make the right choice. Hold on for the ride. Strap yourself in. Roll with the changes. Try to make the right choice. I'm watching from the outside, trying to make sense of it all. Trying to make sense of it all. Trying to make the right choice. I'm looking around, I see the world in a whole new way. I gotta keep up, I'm falling behind. Trying to have fun, but I can't remember how. Time displaced, what a waste. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? I'm trying to make the right choice. Trying to make the right choice. Where do we go from here?
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I did. I think it's he has an incredible feel for lyrics, incredible feel for music, and putting a song together and producing it. And it's all him. It's all him in his house, and this is what he does. He's a man with a conscience, and he has the ability to put it out in song for us to think about, lay it out there. He doesn't dictate, tell you what to think. He leaves it up to you, like his song. It's the choice. So what? Hey guys, Tom Pagano here. I'm just sitting out in my backyard on this